Hey, everybody! It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is a very special AMA with two very special people. We have Sunny Liu from VeChain and also Curis Wang from Bitrue. And wow, this is a first for me. It's the first time I've had the pleasure to meet you, Sunny. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you have a flight that you have to take, so we're going to watch the clock very carefully. And I'll make sure we don't run over. And we received a lot of questions. So the questions came into us from direct mails on Twitter, because everybody knows I am open as a direct mail. There were a lot of people who sent me direct mails. Then, of course, the comment section of Twitter from the feeds, and then on the comment sections of YouTube. And wow, Sunny, you have 58,000 members on Reddit.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
And 1 hour ago, they sent me a document. So I just really want to be sure to tell everybody, thank you for sending in all of your questions. And I know that we can't take them all because of the time restraints. And I will be sure, it's my promise to everybody who sent in questions, that I'm going to make a master list, and each CEO will get their master list. And just so you know that your question did reach the person who you are wanting, and then they have a very good idea as to what the community is thinking. So I'm sorry that we can't hit all the questions, but you will get the entire list, okay?
Sure.
All right, so we're going to start with Sunny.
Okay.
And I understand, I paid a little bit of attention to your Singapore event that took place last week, and you spoke at length about the mass adoption. And you talked about how to drive these business activities on the blockchain, right? So your company launched in 2015, and you are, wow, you're on your way to scale this business. And you're doing it through applications with different enterprises, correct?
Correct.
And I know that I've heard a couple of different numbers in terms of how many enterprises are actually utilizing your applications, but you can clarify for me that. But that is, sometimes it's a food vertical, sometimes it's a supply chain management, sometimes it's a business assurance, and you're using sensors and links to sometimes on the physical product themselves with a digital identity or unit ID to register that on the blockchain. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So I really want to be sure that everybody understands, because I know your community understands. The VeChain community is, I'm sure, way past my understanding. But a lot of the people who are watching are also going to come from the XRP community, because that's the community that I have really paid attention to over the last couple of years. So I want to make sure that they understand. So taking a very high mile view, bring everybody up to date. Like, what's your team like, and what cities are you working in, and who are your strategic partners?
Okay. VeChain actually, well, like you mentioned, VeChain starts in 2015, and when I assemble the team, I try to do a little bit different than the others. I want to, because my goal, the day I understand the blockchain technology, I decided to go all into this space. I set up the goal, like resolution, like I'm gonna bring this technology to a mass adoption to the real business world, until my retirement, I would say. So when I assemble the team, actually I pick up the people I know very well from traditional business world. Those guys are coming from different big enterprises with quite professional backgrounds. My CFO coming from PwC and Deloitte. CEO Kevin coming from PwC as well. CTO coming from Alcatel, TCL Alcatel. It's one of the few, one of the first few to get into the IoT devices, IoT technology in China, because I believe, blockchain cannot work alone. IoT is also a very critical part. Even though in 2016, no one can understand me, even my own partners like, why you do IoT? You gotta do blockchain, right? But now it's kind of proved this story. And also for the rest of the team are coming from Louis Vuitton, as I came from, Bank of America, Cali Bank with a financial background, most likely from quite a big enterprise backgrounds across the different industries.
Yeah.
For sure, they all share the same. We all share the same vision, same passion, which is driving the blockchain technology to the mass adoption. And also in terms of the office, right now we're quite globally operation. Let's say we have an office in Europe, like Luxembourg, Milan, France, and also we got office in the U.S., Palo Alto, and Singapore, Hong Kong, for sure, China, Beijing as well. We even have a small home office people in Tokyo as well.
Woohoo!
So it's quite a quite a global operation.
That's good. All right. Yeah, that answers that. And strategic partners.
Oh yes, and in terms of strategic partners, we cannot miss the names like PwC and the DMVGL. We start to work with since 2016 and 17. They have been helping us to bring large enterprise. For example, recently Walmart China case is come from PwC actually. In terms of the DMVGL, maybe people don't know about them, but they are really biggest ISO certification provider in the world. They are being focused on the business assurance. 150 years old company, $3 billion, and serving 100,000 customers around the world, including Coca-Cola, Alibaba, Airbus, those kind of big ones. So they have been I really appreciate the collaboration with them because they kind of speed us, going to the enterprise world, going to the mass adoption, not only because of the resources and custom pools, but also the experiences, how to go to the market, how to talk to the business people. They're helping a lot. For sure, like other business partners, for example, like Walmart, like BMW, BYD, Givenchy, we got 34 or 35 live enterprise use cases. I don't consider them as like customers per se. I consider them as partners because when we build up this kind of application, we focus on blockchain part, we focus on IoT part, but more importantly, those enterprises, they need to bring their business knowledge, business know-how, expertise to build applications together. So I would consider them as business partners, just other than just the customers.
Yeah, I think that they would appreciate that. But it sounds like really good quality people. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to flip over to Curis now. I know that you are really always 100% focused on a business point of view. And specifically, you want to understand the problems and the pain points, and then you are creating the solutions that can also scale to that in a customized manner, right? And you're very practical too in the way you do it. So I want to know that since I know this, how might you increase adoption? Because this is very critical for everybody right now, because the marketplace is still rather small. How do you see Bitrue increasing global participation?
Right. So firstly, let me quickly introduce ourselves and Bitrue. So my name is Curis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bitrue. So Bitrue is a crypto exchange, and then we are probably one of the biggest XRP market in global right now. And then Bitrue, we got a team based on Silicon Valley. For example, I based in Palo Alto, and we also got a team based in Taipei and Beijing as well. We got around 50 people, in global. And also, we are also the first exchange offering financial service, including like earning interest while you hold digital assets on Bitrue. And we also just launched our lending service as well to the crypto holders. And then go back to your question. So I think this is a very good question. So because some opportunity, I used to manage a blockchain incubator in Silicon Valley around end of 2017. And back to the time that market was pretty high, everyone want to get their business involved in blockchain, right? But the thing is, a lot of projects, they are not really practical to solve a real business case. They are not really practical or scalable to solve the real problem in real life. So, the current market, we all know that is quite bearish. And then personally, I think that one of the biggest reasons is that they are full of the speculations. And then also there's a big gap between retail market, retail user, and then also the industry people. And then I think that Bitrue, I don't see us just a trading platform. I more see like we are one of the bridge connect the retail investors and also the project they together. So I think that to have the massive adoption, we need to provide tons and tons of the education opportunity for our retail users. So this is one of the biggest reasons we are having this Ask Me Anything session with Sunny from VeChain, because a lot of people probably are aware of that we are the exchange, we pretty friendly to XRP, like XRP Centric exchange. And we all agree that at least personally, I agree that XRP is something very practical and then scalable as well in terms of like from business point of view. And then I think that VeChain is another project that shares the same perspective as well. That's my understanding regarding VeChain. I know VeChain, for example, Sunny, their team, they spend tons of time trying to understand their customers' pain point and problem. They don't just do tech for tech. This is the biggest problem. A lot of blockchain projects they have today is that they have difficulty to really, sell in their solution into the real market because they don't really understand what kind of problem they're trying to solve. And VeChain's team is just like XRP as well. They try to understand what's those enterprise companies' pain point, and then they providing solution to them by leveraging blockchain technology. So for me, like blockchain is not a business model. Blockchain is not God. Blockchain is just a technology for us to leverage to improve and solving the current problem in real world. So this is like the VeChain team. We definitely want to leverage the opportunity for not just VeChain community, but also XRP community as well, like VeChain community that will get to understand more about, another solid project, VeChain, and get to understand what's the thought or what's the progress, from Sunny, their co-founder and CEO's words, the month. So Bitrue, our responsibility for this ecosystem, I think is not just purely providing, let's say, trading or financial service platform to people. Most likely, we want to be a big part of this ecosystem as well. We want to facilitate and decrease the gap between retail user and then also industry people. And then for people to understand like the importance of let's say, being practical and scalable for the project to be really successful.
Yeah. And I think that the education part that you touched on is also really, really important. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm very excited and happy that we could have Sunny. Sunny and me, we met, I think, last year in Palo Alto, our office, right? So, and then I still remember back to the time, Sunny talk about a lot, their spirit, what kind of problem they want to solve. What's their founding team's background, like, so from PwC, Deloitte, and then so I had pretty deep impression back to the time. So, and then both of us, we travel around the world all the time, so we didn't really get to a chance to meet, like every single month, but a couple weeks ago, we met again in Palo Alto when Sunny came to the Bay Area. So we literally talk about this. What's the progress of VeChain, and then so a lot of people are aware that from XRP community or VeChain community, they have a lot of common ground.
There is a lot of common ground.
Right. They all trying to provide the solution to enterprise companies pinpoint.
Yeah.
So I think this is very good. Yeah.
Yeah. And both companies are actually solving it in a real use case, which I think is, again, makes them unique when you look at all the other projects out there.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sunny, I have... go ahead.
Yeah, just want to add a few lines for what Curis just said. The reason we, become friends and also talk to each other a lot, because we share the same vision. It's all try to drive the technology to mass adoptions.
Yeah.
And honestly, XRP, from my understanding, at least when they started, focused on the banking, financial territories, while VeChain is focused on non-financial areas for trying to bring the business activities on the blockchain. And for sure, when more business activities running on the blockchain, when we think about any kind of financial application with blockchain, that will become more naturally demanding. So I would say there will be probably, I don't know, but probably we will have more collaborative opportunity with the XRP community. Yeah, the business application, financial application, then we work together and try to deliver mass adoption for real.
Yes. It's a perfect marriage. So what about then, blockchain is a service, right? So you had a big announcement in April, and VeChain is really focusing on that, blockchain as a service solution. I think you name it the VeChain toolchain. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you just tell us a little more about it. Like, how does it work, and why is it unique? And is it working?
Yeah, it is working actually. I would say right now more than half of our clients, especially all of the new clients, are using toolchain to onboard their business to the blockchain. The reason we create the toolchain actually is coming from the past 3-4 years experiences. Starting from 2016, it was really tough time. We tried to knock like 50 different enterprise doors, but only like 3 or 4 answer. Is this kind of the thing? People don't really understand what blockchain is, not mentioning how to use that. So we try everything. We tried lots of different use cases, explorations, and then we start to summarize and start to feel like, okay, why not we, make it a standard tool to ease the process when the enterprise wanted to build up blockchain applications. They don't need to start the whole team, like starting everything from scratch, which is not really the current society thing or the current how the world works. Usually you work with others, and different team will have different expertise and can make things better. That's we call global collaboration. So we summarize what we done and we create the toolchain to make us blockchain as a service data platform to ease the process for any kind of enterprise. In the front end application, you could be in a different forms.
Right.
It could be any kind of fading, food safety, traceability, but all through toolchain, it becomes very standard module, which means data collection, data validation, data onboarding. So it's kind of like a box and help the enterprise to deal with those kind of special blockchain part or blockchain expert to make that easy. Because honestly, like I said many times, blockchain is infrastructure technology. It's just like you use email every day, but normal people don't care about SMTP or TCP/IP.
Exactly.
So blockchain is supposed to work like this way, and we want to just make the tool and to help everybody. You can easily to onboard your business to the blockchain for certification, business assurance, qualification, supplier management, supply chain management, whatever. So we create this tool, and we also wanted to explore. Actually, there is a special force in my team. They try to explore more things. For example, when we did BMW case, it's firstly for mileage, for fighting against the mileage counterfeiting or mileage fraud. But later on, we try to build more data, like onboard more data of the life cycle of automobile onto the blockchain. And why not go in further? How to maximize the data maximize the value of the data on the blockchain, we can connect it with insurance.
All right.
So we have a special task force try to go deeper and explore more. And once it becomes a standard, we will add it to VeChain, becomes second template, third template, fourth template.
Yeah.
And eventually, I would say our end goal for VeChain is make it as kind of like AWS, Amazon Web Service for blockchain.
Yeah, you have
so
this synergy that's happening in different areas altogether.
You can have a different industry, different use cases, just choose a different template, and maybe 30 minutes later, boom, you're on the blockchain. Very easy.
Yeah.
And also, we have a second type of version of VeChain. That's a standard version. And Go advanced version is more like a developer version, which means if you want to go customize, okay, we can have more engagement. We can help you to build specific smart contract deploy in the same environment and to serve you. So, for example, Walmart actually, PwC is a developer using the developer version of VeChain to build up the full safety, full traceability for Walmart China. So there are two types of versions working together.
Yeah, it sounds like it really works then. It really does. All right, I'm going to jump over to Curis, all right? Okay. Your vision is to be a global financial platform. That's what you already just recently mentioned. And the key word there, though, is global. So, you know, that really means you got to bring different markets together. So, you know, like Sunny's trying to do, he's bringing many different, you know, food market and the clothing market and the luxury market. But, you know, when you talk about global, explain to me how your vision actually is going to do that.
So right now, let me try to explain this in this way. So right now, the current cryptocurrency market is pretty fragmented, right? So in terms of, let's say, user market, project token, exchanges, media, and also liquidity. I'll give a specific example here. So right now, the top 3 cryptocurrency market in the world right now, I'll be number 1, probably US and Europe, right? And the second active market will be China. And the third one, probably Korea. But the thing is, right now, if you look at all these 3 markets, they are quite disconnected from each other. For the liquidity, they don't share with each other. So, and then especially each region, each market, they have their own exchanges. So I'll give you an example. Right now, a lot of token, a lot of projects when they're looking for listing on the exchange is pretty painful process for them. For Korean-based project, if you want to go to the market, they want to go to the market outside of Korea, it's very difficult. Maybe because the barrier of the language, maybe because of the barrier of the culture, right?
Right.
So they say vice versa. For example, a European project base, they probably want to. It's very difficult for them to go to the market in Korea. So right now, I mean, they say, I mean, the best way for those projects to gain user or traction global, the best way for them to do right now is listed on many exchanges. So they probably only spend tons of effort and resource and time over negotiation with one single exchange, maybe is Huobi in China, right? And later on, they need to spend another time over negotiation with maybe CoinOne in Korea, and then maybe Bitrue for US or European market. So this is very painful. And also, if you look at, I mean, the problem from retail investors, a European user, it's hard for them to really see a Korean-based project. Not even talking about the investment. They don't even see it. They don't really understand, I mean, what the project is talking about, right? I mean, because this culture and most of the language will be in Korean, maybe. So, but if you look at this, I mean, blockchain, we all at the very early stage. So blockchain is not like traditional business. Traditional business, you can pretty focus on your local market. That's fine. But blockchain is relatively so small compared to traditional business. So if you don't go global, you'll be pretty limited. I mean, in your local market, you'll be very small. Not even talking about the massive adoption. So I mean, Bitrue's vision is we want to have more and more people to have equal access to financial service. So that's why today, for example, we are offering like earning program that when you, I mean, holding your digital asset on Bitrue, you get a chance to earn interest, and you even get to enjoy the lending service as well on Bitrue. And also, we want to, let's say, not just that, we want to connect all the partners in different market. We feel like we need to cooperate. So we feel that a lot of people know that Bitrue is XRP Centric exchange. And then we all believe that XRP could be a successful project in the future, right? And on the other side, we also want to welcome and facilitate project like VeChain, this kind of project. So we need to really cooperate. So I let's say the other day, like David, Squats from Ripple CTO mentioned that we need to stop hating each other. We need to really cooperate. So it's not just, so Bitrue will try our best to list the, let's say, asset in global. And meanwhile, we'll try to cooperate with partners in different markets. Bitrue maybe Bitrue is focused on the US Euro market, and then we'll probably partner with a Korean partner as well. And then for example, Bitrue is an XRP Centric exchange, but we also welcome a solid project that have mass adoption like VeChain to Bitrue, the community. So that this like saying that as a platform, Bitrue will do our best to providing different kind of variety of the financial service. But on top of that, we need to, let's say, cross-border adaptive kind of community and the project onto Bitrue. Because all we want to see is that the massive adoption for blockchain.
That's right. That's what everybody wants to see that. And I think the collaboration is the key, to work with people, not against people. Yeah,
right.
I totally agree. All right. Hey, Sunny, I have another question for you. This one came a lot about the builders, because the reason why is XRP has the arm called Spring. I think you might know about it. And Spring is one of the places that, well, they do everything from making investments to actually providing hackathons to doing fundraising for builders and developers. I mean, it is really, really has been on fire the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months. So what the questions that came through was, with your VeChain builders, how are you going to invite, these builders to solve these real world economic problems and build on top of the VeChain or the VeChain Thor public blockchain? Because you must have some promotions in mind. You just can't say, okay, come on in, the door's open, we welcome you. And I know you also mentioned that the Internet of Things along with AI are also smart technologies that are going to be working together, right? But you need to attract talent. And how do you do that? I mean, do you plan to acquire people, or do you plan to compensate them? This is a very key thing. I just finished a very big community project that raised funds for the XRP developers, and I just know how much effort it takes to attract the developers. So I think the XRP community in particular is very interested how you're going to do that.
Yeah, well, that's a very good question, actually. Builders are very important elements in the VeChain ecosystem. I think for any kind of blockchain ecosystem, because they are really, to drive the technology to the different application in the different territory and eventually create the value. So we consider builders are not only about those big enterprises, like I mentioned, Walmart, BMW, Givenchy, but also the startups, especially in the early stage of the technology like the blockchain space. Startups are usually acting quickly. So we actually creating a series of different programs. Think about the builders. We put our team to their shoes, like, okay, if I'm a builder, what do I need? So we will classify like, okay, if I'm an enterprise, what do I need? So I don't need money for sure. I mean, enterprises have relatively really large budget, and if they decide to go blockchain, they have some strategic investment for sure. But they will need service providers. They will need, trusted consultant services. So we kind of bring our enterprise networks and to them. So for example, when we work with the BYD, the largest EV company, we bring DNVGL and also we bring PICC as an insurance company to them. So let them work together. Also, the builders could bring more builders coming to the ecosystem. So it's more like network effect for the collaboration. Or when we talk about startups, that would be more difficult question, or let's say more tough question. Because startup usually is small with limited resources, limited team, and also sometimes it could be good at about one thing, like good about the technology or good about one territory. In terms of running a company, usually it's a very tough challenge, especially to senior or like top management. So we think from them like, okay, if you're the startup and you want to devote yourself to building up blockchain application, usually you will need, at the early stage, you might need some kind of ideas, you might need some like, other than the passion for sure, that's, I cannot help, but, ideas and try to polish the white paper or something. So we can provide this kind of, with our partners and can provide this kind of resources like a cream. And when you go further, you might need angel investment, right? You need money to start it. So we can align with our VC partners, like Fenbush Capital, Future Cap, even Draper, and to bring those projects to them and give the opportunity to them to talk to them to see how you're gonna receive the first money. And also, VeChain is creating we call VeChain Power or VSPO Power as the ecosystem fund with other partners to go further, including leveraging with some like incubators like Longhash, even Bitrue also have incubation program,
right?
To help. And also we leveraging our own team resource, try to bring more common services. For example, like a PR marketing, even the HR advice, because not every startup has dedicated HR manager or HR director, and also even the financial advices, like how to manage your fund in a health way. And going further, we also have a different, we call community programs. We have lots of grants. Like when you have a good idea, we can provide $10,000 to $50,000, that kind of the grant motivative incentive to those startups. But more importantly, last but not least, very importantly, we can bring business opportunities. I think it's more important than just, a grant or investment or money, because it helps you to test your product, explore your product, and also, we have the largest, I would say, I'm really proud to say we have the largest network of enterprise users on any kind of public blockchain phase, maybe with XRP, same level. We can bring them, to those startups, and we can through the requirements to the startup saying, okay, there is an enterprise need that. Anyone wanted to answer that, and you guys can work together with VeChain Foundation to serve this kind of thing. So I would say it's more like a comprehensive package. If you want to go more details, anyone want to go more details, can go to builders.vchain.org. It's a new website we launched. Basically, we consider any kind of readers or audiences as a builder, and you can walk through the processes based on our experiences with lots of startups and until the end. So you can, based on your condition, based on your situation, your requirement, you just choose a different program, you talk to us, you apply, and we help at our best.
Yeah, that was a very smart move you made doing that website. Yeah, very good. Curis, I have a question that I think everybody has been asking. This is the number one question.
Okay.
So the number one question that I actually received was, how can XRP and VeChain grow the ecosystems together using Bitrue?
This is a very good question and also a very tough question. So, like I said, there's a lot of common ground between XRP and VeChain, right? I mean, I always remember clearly that The other day, Brett got in house. He mentioned his friend to his mom that what kind of business he's running, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, I still believe that his narrative is like, I'm selling software to bank.
Right.
Simple as that, right? And then today, VeChain is also, something for VeChain. VeChain is very simple, right? Part of VeChain right now it is the certificate product, right? For maybe fake winery, fake tea, China, or other than that, they're not just providing solution to enterprise companies. They also providing different kind of tool for startup company to develop their own application. And then I still remember that clearly that this is something I learned from one of the founder of the venture capital in Silicon Valley. He said that all this blockchain project, we need to stop explaining ourselves, what's our business, by using blockchain, this word. This is the block for mass adoption, because a lot of people, like my mom, my wife, like they don't really understand what's blockchain, what's the wallet, what's the app, right? So you need to have a simple way for them to use. They don't even feel like it's blockchain working for them, right? And then also I think it's very important that a successful blockchain company, they need to, not just for blockchain technology, they also need to take care of the crypto. They say business model. They need to have the logical business model connect technology, let's say solution, problem, and there's also the economy as well. So I think that XRP and VeChain, these two project and company that are something we admire. And then certainly Bitrue as a service platform, we want to provide all our financial service to serve all the investors who like long-term holder for this kind of XRP and VeChain tokens. So I'll give you one example. Right now, user who hold VeChain on Bitrue, they get a chance to earn up to 10% annual interest rate, which is amazingly high. And then also on the other side, we haven't really announced it in public, but we're gonna do it. So Sunny, in the next few days, a lot of people know that we also have lending, right? Which means people can pledge their digital asset, so that can borrow Bitcoin, stablecoin in order to cover their living costs. Maybe they don't want to sell their cryptocurrency asset during this bearish market. So we're gonna value this kind of asset like VeChain, and then as those long-term investors do as well. We want to accept VeChain token as one of our collateral options. So which means that, so what we can do is that, not just education, right? What we can do is that, do our best to provide all our financial service to serve investors who have believed in blockchain, who have believed in the company or project they have a great opportunity for massive adoption. So this is something that we want to do, especially it makes a lot of sense for long-term holder. They don't want to sell their token, VeChain token, during this bearish market. And then, of course, later on, I'm more than happy to discuss with Sunny, like what could be, the other opportunity between our two company, and then VeChain and XRP as well. But like I said, most of the community I admire, because a lot of people, we have professional mindset. We are very professional, knowing how to run a business. And then I've been doing business for like many, many years, and then I believe in that. A successful company, they need to have the sustainable revenue business model. So they can just talk about technology. No, they need to have a solid business model to support that. And then XRP, it finds its own way already. And VeChain, I also find its own way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the belief that this is a ecosystem that is growing step by step by step by step. Yeah, okay, so just one question left for each of you. Sunny, I'm going to go back to you because there's an exciting and fascinating project that you are doing in San Marino Republic, which I had to look up. This is the smallest country in the world. It's the oldest republic in the world. It was founded 1,700 years ago. I had to really, this really piqued my interest. It's now on my list of places I have to see. But you're doing a big project there. And if you want to talk about that project, that's good. Or if you want to talk about another project, I want to hear about what's happening in, oh, where'd you go there? Let's see, there you are. I want to hear what's going on either in San Marino, or tell me about something else that you're really excited about.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about San Marino project for sure. Actually, we're doing three things in San Marino. The first one we call sustainable platform, which means we want to create this kind of decentralized incentive platform to using the VeChain blockchain to incentivize the citizens of San Marino to do positive things like sustainability.
Yeah, it's really
so basically it's part of we already did it in China. We work with BYD, PICC, Bitrue, DMGO to build up this carbon ecosystem, and carbon ecosystem will be one of the initiatives in the sustainability platform. So there are 17 SDGs in United Nations lists. So San Marino is willing to try to using the technology, the whole country in a new era of digitalization, let's say. So we're going to create this kind of sustainability platform to firstly transform users' activity to some.
Oh, come on, internet.
Or buy this kind of activity to buy data.
Your connection is getting a little spotty. Let's see. Oh, Sunny, it's a little bit.
Record of blockchain using the smart contract.
Gosh.
So 33,000 citizens, everybody gonna have to measure to collect the incentive based on that. So that's the first thing. Second thing, San Marino also launching they call blockchain ecosystem, meaning they want to attract young talents, the tech teams, startups, going to register San Marino because they have a quite friendly framework, legal framework about that. Actually, in June 2019, they passed a decree to launch, they call it ITO, initial tokens offering, whatever, ICO, STO, IEO, whatever. So they already passed the decree. They have very specific guidelines for like KYC, AML, that kind of regulation. So they also wanted to attract the more startup on the blockchain to join San Marino framework. And we're going to work with them to provide, let's say, we call it a common service. Remember, when we talk about the builders in the ecosystem, they need a common service. They could maybe 5 people, 10 people. They're good at ask about the HR, finance, even administration of a legal entity or legal work. They were like, oh, don't ask me for that. I don't know about it. So we want to build up a serious service provider network in San Marino. Like when the blockchain startup saying, I have a great idea, I already have something, they can go to San Marino, finish the registration, using the incubation office, get the investment, launching the ITOs under the decree, very easily. You don't need to worry about the other things. The service will take care of that. That's the second thing. The third thing, to support the two initiatives I just talked about, a very important element we call SMIT. It's a San Marino Innovation Token, which is going to support both sustainability platform and the blockchain ecosystem, San Marino. Imagine you can pay the citizens for some positive behaviors. You can, have the value as a bridge to transfer between the different players, the enterprises, even the governments. You all can use the SMIT.
Yeah.
So basically, it's kind of like next version of San Marino's Citizen Wallet.
Yeah.
They can use that wallet to using that kind of value, using that kind of token for. Well, I'm not saying everything, but we will start to build like one by one concrete use case, and eventually, I hope they can use for everything. So 3 initiatives, and
Yeah. Oh, please come back. Oh, it's a little bit of a weak connection this afternoon. Oh, sunny. Oh, you know what? He's talking about the third initiative until he comes back live with us. Japan did that in a tiny little village community. Also, they did their own local ICO to fund some infrastructure that was just for their community. Yeah. Oh gosh, we might have. Yeah, I don't know. Sunny, are you there? Possibly we lost him. I'll wait to see if he pops on. That was his last question. Curis, you have one more question. So if he comes back on, that's great. He'll be able to make some closing remark. But if he doesn't, then we'll just have to have said to ourselves, well, we're really lucky he got through the last question. Your final question is about the launching of promotions and campaigns. And I just want to know, is there any new project that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, this is very exciting. Actually, the news just come up. So like I said earlier, I mean, the current market is pretty fragmented, right? And then, Korea and China, I mean, US and Europe, they are kind of disconnected. Hi, Sunny, welcome back.
Sorry, I lost my connection.
No, that's okay. Did you want to just give me a closing comment from what you had, we lost you right about at the end when you talked about the local little ICO that they might use for some local infrastructure projects or something of that nature.
Oh,
the third.
Did you guys catch about the split part?
Yeah, we caught that, but you broke off just when you started to tell us about how they would use that local ICO for their own community.
Oh yeah. So like I mentioned, like we wanted to push that kind of wallet into every citizen of San Marino, so they are able to participate the sustainability platform, and even they want to invest whatever the ICO STOs under the decree of San Marino. But very importantly, I wanted to emphasize that part. KYC and AML is definitely in the play.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, because eventually, honestly, I think the regulation to blockchain has been missing for a long time, cannot be missed anymore if we want to drive the technology to the mainstream and mass adoptions. So definitely want to make that sure, San Marino government and the whole country go into digitalization, but in a very legitimate way. So that's what I'm just trying to say.
No, I think it's important. I think people assume that if the whole country is going to do it, it's going to be compliant, but it doesn't hurt to let everyone know that it will be totally compliant. Yeah.
Like I mentioned, San Marino could be a pilot, and we can, it's a small country, 33,000 people, but it's also in the middle of Italy,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want to, and it looks,
nice place.
It's small, but it looks very beautiful. I definitely want to go.
I've been here like a couple of times already, but we can replicate to the other bigger cities, or the bigger countries. I want to make it as a role model. Like
this is going to be a perfect. Yeah, it's going to be a perfect model. I know. I don't doubt. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let Curis take his very last question. We are still within the hour, so just don't go anywhere, and I'll let you make a closing comment. I am jumping over to Curis. We asked him, just so you know, Sonny, what is he working on? What's the new project that he wants to talk about? So I you know, and of course, I'm always trying to get some information out of him.
Thank you for pointing this out, Eddie. So, you know, we always trying to be very innovative in this market. Always trying to be very first doing something. So this is very exciting news. So like I said earlier, the current cryptocurrency market is quite fragmented, right? I mean, Korean talking their Korean project, and then China, and US, Europe, and then so they all quite disconnected to each other. So and then I think a project looking for listing shouldn't be, I mean, they shouldn't be spending so much effort and time over, let's say, talking to each and for listing. So the news actually just came out, and then some of people probably know that I flew to Korea last week, just before I came back to San Francisco. We just, reached out an agreement with CoinOne, who is one of the top three exchange in Korea, and they are very promising exchange. So Bitrue and CoinOne will become, I would say, more like strategic partnership. We're like sister exchange. I mean, what does that mean? That means that we're going to work together to code this project. So whenever it's a European based project, whenever it's a Korean based project, we're gonna work together to code this project. So that means a project can go, let's say, if they are already going global, they can go to Korean, right, leveraging CoinOne. And then if I'm going to, let's say, English speaking market or South Asia, they can leverage Bitrue. So Bitrue and CoinOne will be like complementary package to each other. And that's not just that. So we are also discussing, like, because you know, like right now Korean market, they are pretty much focused on Korean Won, their local fiat currency, right? All the liquidity is about Korean Won.
Yeah.
And then outside of the Korean, it's more like USDT, like Bitrue, most likely it's USDT, this kind of driving all the liquidity. And then now we're also working together, discussing how to integrate, both of systems together to connect the liquidity between USDT and Korean Won to increase the liquidity for like XRP and BT, this kind of project. And then so it's really healthy for the market. So this is the way I like to say that this more like to cooperate with each other. And other than that, we all know that, Korean is, I think one of the top three XRP markets in global.
Mm.
The first one probably US,
yep.
and then Japan and Korea.
Right? Mm-hmm.
So it made a lot of sense for those Korean XRP holders to use Bitrue XRP pair. And then, so that's the beauty of integrating both of systems together. And other than that, there's more to come. And then, so we are also discussing, let's say, both our systems, we have our unique point. For example, we have Bitrue, we have the POP earning, interest program. CoinOne, they also have their unique feature as well. And then we are discussing that how to let both of the user on both sides to enjoy the benefit from each side at the same time. So we'll like, when you join Bitrue, you most likely can get to enjoy the benefit of CoinOne as well. And then, so anyway, we are still brainstorming because there are a lot of cool things we are discussing. I couldn't wrap it out last week when I visited Korea in Seoul. So I know a lot of people will also ask about, Bitrue exchange-based token BTR, will it be based on CoinOne?
Mm.
And then, there will be more details in the PR. So the PR in Korea already out. If you search online, I don't read Korean, so but the PR release in English will be out, I think, in the next couple hours.
Mm.
So you'll talk about that, and then also we'll discuss about how to leverage this BTR token on both systems. So this is, I personally, I believe this is the future of exchange, because we need to collaborate.
Yeah.
not just exchange. I mean, also there's a different kind of token. They need to cooperate with each other as well, like XRP and VeChain, right? And then VeChain XRP, and then also exchange. How we can save some effort so we can improve the current efficiency for the market. So we all share the same goal. We are not here to, let's say we are looking for like long-term vision. Well, we all share the same vision, like Sunny just mentioned. Like we want to have, again, massive adoption. Whatever what kind of solution you're providing, you are looking for massive adoption. If there's no massive adoption, I'm telling you, we'll be dead someday soon.
Congratulations, Chris. I think you took the first big, huge, real global step, and the collaboration, I really believe, is going to be the secret for the next mass adoption for blockchain. Sunny, I know you need to go. Please give us some closing words, and I don't want to keep you from missing your flight.
Sure. I really appreciate this, especially happy birthday to
happy birthday to Curis.
I would say I really like very importantly, the blockchain technology is going to a very critical moment. I think the guy like Curis or like VeChain team, like XRP team, we're all working in the same goal. But just share some personal ideas recently. I think through a lot. The blockchain has been writing for like more than 11 years now, and coming from technical consensus to a business consensus, which is very critical to everybody. If we really want to bring the technology into the mass adoption, to the mainstream, there are lots of work to do. And like the idea, like Curis just mentioned, friends in the same blockchain space, let's hold the hands together and drive some real value to the blockchain technology, to the real world. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great words. And that's exactly David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, had those exact same words in a conversation he had with some XRP community members when they were walking. And it's just really, really true. I think the collaboration and working together to build this up for all of us is really key. So thank you. And I really, really thank you for squeezing this in before you have to fly out. I really do appreciate it. Curtis, do you have anything else to say, birthday boy? It's 1 minute into your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I am really happy to, start my very first meeting of my 37 years old with Sunny and Eddie, and then to fascinating people. So hopefully, there's still a long way to go for us, and hopefully we can spend both of our best effort to work together. Stop hating each other, but like each other, love each other, and cooperate. Yeah. And then this is something I really like to see. And then I believe this is the trend. And then only with that, we can fulfill our dream for blockchain.
Yeah, perfect. Sunny, Curtis, thank you so much. Really, I do appreciate it. I wish you a very wonderful evening, and take care. And I talk to you soon, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, thank you. All right, so soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.